And lastly, the ego is fragile. It's inconsistent. It's fragile in the same way that a balloon full of hot air is fragile. If you were to blow that balloon up, anything that's that tight, all it's going to take is just a little prick. In fact, there's really no difference between a balloon that's really inflated and really deflated. The only difference is the amount of air. It's actually the same thing. The same problem is that it's puffed up, and that's the ego. It's fragile. It's always shifting from one extreme to the other. And we all know it. I've got a quote from Madonna that I think illustrates it very well. Anybody know who Madonna is? And I'm not saying Madonna's any worse than any of us. In fact, she shows incredible courage here in this quote from Vogue magazine, but she gets it. She gets what's wrong with the ego. Look at what she says. My drive in life comes from the fear of being mediocre. Anybody else resonate with that? That's always pushing me. I push past one spell of it and discover myself a special human being, but then I feel I'm still mediocre and uninteresting unless I do something else. This is why Madonna's always going crazy. Something else, because even though I've become somebody, I still have to prove I'm somebody. My struggle has never ended, and I guess it never will. Now again, I'm not trying to demean Madonna. She shows incredible self-awareness. What she's saying is my ego is fragile. And you know this, it's always, you got to do the next thing. You got to do something more significant. It's the next $100,000. It's the next level of the business. It's the next promotion. It's the next, it's the next amount of weights in the weight room. It's the next physical modification to your physical appearance. It's always something else. You finally feel significant, but then it's like it's just a moment. It evaporates. Again, you're deflated, and so you've got to busy your ego, filling yourself back up so that you feel significant again. Always looking for the verdict. Always looking, but never being satisfied. It's like the ego is a black hole. It's like the ego is the stomach of your teenager. It just goes on and on and on, and it's never, ever satisfied. That's the brokenness of the human ego. I got a lot of moms hitting their teenagers. Yeah, listen. So how do you fix it? How do you experience healing like Paul says? Well, Paul says, let me show you how I do it. And that's what verses 3 and 4 are about.